Hello, 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 Tank. How's it going? Oh, let me unmute you. Sorry about that. Hello, can you hear me now? Maybe yes, maybe no. So, well, welcome everybody. Uh, this is now Front Lines with. Oh, I can't hear you. I did unmute you. Front Lines with Dan and Tank without Tank's voice. Oh, you know what? Let's just say something again. Maybe my volume. No, my volume was off. The music was playing. Well, I'll continue while Tank fiddles with his audio. Uh, uh, I was going to cover a topic that is basically a front lines topic that would be showing that we're on the front lines. 8chan has been taken down. It is the Q's voice, the place where QAnon basically would exist from, has been taken off the internet. I'll go ahead and I'll bring up an article and we can go through that. A second, I gotta switch my camera view here. I think I might have to make a new one. This is always a problem. I'll get faster at doing this. There we go. So 8chan is struggling to stay online in the wake of El Paso massacre. Security platform Cloudflare ditched 8chan overnight, leaving it vulnerable to attacks. Now the infamous forum appears to have been knocked offline. So this is from basically August 5th, 2019. Yes. So 8chan, a website that has become popular with extremists and place where at least 3 gunmen have posted manifestos before going shooting rampages this year, no longer accessible on the internet. The site was knocked offline after a series of companies starting. Oh, I heard something, Tank, just in case you wanted to know. Some audio leaked through. So the site was knocked offline after a series of companies, starting with the security platform Cloudflare, decided to stop helping keep the site online. The catalyst was a gunman who killed 22 people and injured another 24 Saturday at Walmart in El Paso, Texas. His hate-filled manifesto was apparently published to 8chan just before his attack. Well, that makes it convenient, right, for the deep state, right? The place to post anywhere anyone can post is a place where they can post manifestos before the MK Ultra people go out and do their deeds that they're programmed to go do. And now of course they attack the site that has been trying to stop all this MK Ultra craziness. So we'll continue here. The manifesto railed against immigration, declaring this attack is a response to the Hispanic invasion of Texas. Members of 8chan cheered the shooting and remarked about the number of people killed. It was followed a day later by another seemingly unconnected attack in Dayton, Ohio, that left 9 dead and 27 injured. Now, I just want to also point out here is that you can't now go check and see where these people in 8chan cheered the shooting, right? There's a lot of out there kind of stuff there, but it doesn't. Uh, I haven't really seen where this doesn't seem right to me, right? Let's put it that way from what I've been reading. Not to say that there's not edgy things there, but that cheering about this, no. Maybe the context was really about cheering that there was confirmation from a Q-proof that they said be vigilant for the next 24 hours because they heard chatter, right? But this leaves, a different impression, right? So this is the control of the media. Okay, I'll continue here. The shock of weekend's massacres raised questions about the site and its place on the internet. White supremacy and domestic terrorism in the U.S. have been on the rise, and researchers say websites like 8chan, its cousin 4chan, and social networks like Reddit, Gab, Twitter, YouTube are being used to spread hate and recruit more attackers.
Such a lie.
Sure, it is. Your audio is a little weak. I don't know.
Hey man, your audio is a little weak.
No, you're loud now. I heard that.
Yeah, I just try to adjust it.
And my audio could be weak because it seems the microphone I got to be much closer to my monitor. Then I'm like a hand away, so I start feeling the heat from the monitor, so I get back.
How about now? Am I clear now? Can you hear me now?
I hear you, yes.
But clearly, Dan.
Clearly.
I got a lot of stuff going on here. I better be clear.
You're clear. You're clear.
All right, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your flow.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's all in the live broadcasting mode, right? Okay. I'll continue here. 8chan, which has been ephemeral image posting site, came under scrutiny after shooters' seeming manifesto was discovered on the site. In the past year, a shooter who attacked two New Zealand mosques in March and another who attacked in California synagogue in April posted their manifestos to the site as well. Oh, so that was in California. I was wondering where that synagogue happened. That attack I thought it was Florida, but it was California. Say again?
I thought it was in Pennsylvania.
See, we all get different stories. That's what it is. Or they confuse the truth so we can't check it out, right?
Right, and they hide it on the internet.
Yeah, so it's you got to know the link, and sometimes they'll change the link. Okay. The shock of 8chan's central role in encouraging attacks drove companies that until now have defended it to take action. Security platform Cloudflare, which under the control of Hillary Clinton, just a side note, which had previously defended work with 8chan on Sunday, announced it'll drop the site. 8chan is among more than 19 million internet properties that use Cloudflare services. Cloudflare CEO Matthew Prince, brother of Eric Prince, no, I just added that, sorry, wrote in a Sunday blog post, "We just sent a notice that we're terminating 8chan as a customer effectively midnight tonight Pacific time. The rationale is simple. They have proven themselves to be lawless and lawlessness as a cause of multiple tragic deaths." So they're blaming 8chan for the deaths. Right? Nothing to do with the people that did them, right?
And a liberal and registered, but somehow it's 8chan, which there's not even a liberal in the world that probably goes on 8chan.
Right, and it's obviously nothing to do with the psychiatrists that these people have been given drugs by, right? That's the cause of this. So.
Yeah, it reminds me of when Kavanaugh was, being confirmed, and whatever that woman was who stepped up, and all the Democrats were going after the courageous, amazing, moving, emotional, incredible courage. Superman himself has never shown anything greater than what this woman has done. And then later on, it's a lie.
Right.
But no one ever talked about that, right? But their ridiculous script, they all repeated the same stupid lines. I'm like, you're not even remotely believable.
Right.
That's what's going to happen here too.
Yeah, they're not. It's like exactly the same thing on all of them. It's just actually I'm finding it harder and harder to watch. Anyway, let me go ahead and finish this. We'll keep talking then. Okay. Let's see. So even if 8chan may not have violated the letter of the law in refusing to moderate the hate-filled community, they have created an environment that reveals the violating in its spirit. Shortly after, Migrate, a site that appeared to work with 8chan after Cloudflare dropped out, no longer appeared accessible on the web either. Mitigate apparently resold services from another company, Voxility, which said in a statement that it pulled access to its service as soon as it learned 8chan was running on its network. BitMigrate's other high-profile client, hate site, the Daily Stormer, also seemed partially knocked off Monday. It was still accessible on the dark web. BitMigrate, 8chan, and the Daily Stormer didn't immediately respond to requests for comment. Okay, calls to shut down 8chan 4chan, 8chan have long been associated with dark parts of the web, but they have become known as breeding grounds for extremists. Calls to shut them down grew on Sunday. 8chan's founder, Frederick Benet, told New York Times that the site he created should no longer exist. Shut down the site, he said. Whenever I hear about mass shootings, I say, all right, we have to research if there's an 8chan connection. Brennan stated that the site in 20.
So in other words, you're targeting 8chan is what he's confessing.
Right.
Right. Is there any way we could tie this back to 8chan? Just like after September 11th, they were all given instructions. Okay, we got to figure out how to tie this to Iraq. Everybody go.
Right. All right. Brennan started the site in 2013, seeking to create a free speech forum bereft of any censorship. He resigned from the site in 2016. Since then, it's been controlled by owner Jim Watkins and son Ron Watkins. I no longer have anything to do with 8chan. Any 8chan questions post April 2016, I don't know the answers to, Brennan states in his Twitter bio. I wonder if it has anything to do with our other Brennan in the news, right, which is a former CIA director. Anyway, so then Prince told Wired that Cloudflare had been reconsidering its relationship for 8chan for a while. 8chan has been on the radar for a long time as a problematic user, Prince said, but we have a responsibility which is much beyond we terminate sites we don't like. I'm nervous about whether we've made the right decision, and I'm nervous about how this will set a precedent in the future. In 2016, Cloudflare had made such a decision. In 2016, Cloudflare dropped the Daily Stormer, a neo-Nazi site. That decision followed the death of Heather Heyer, who was run over while protesting at a white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017. The man who purposely drove his car into the anti-racism protester was sentenced in July to life in prison, plus 419 years on a federal hate crime charges. Okay, we still got quite a while here. More of the article. Let's see. That's not too bad. All right, we'll finish it up. In 2015, 8chan was blacklisted from Google searches due to the child pornography content shared on the site. It's all anti-child pornography, right?
Right.
In 2014, Brennan told the Daily Dot, I don't support the content on the child pornography boards you mentioned. But it's simply the cost of the free speech and being only active site to not impose more laws than those that were passed in Washington, D.C. Actually, you know what? I guess anyone could post anything on there, so there could be child porn that makes it on there, right? Because
it's not governed by anything. It is an anarchist environment filled with lots of, and it's the most disorganized, hardest thing to follow. The only value it has is because it's sharing literal, high level intel.
Right.
And you have to figure out the code. Otherwise, it wouldn't be, a usable, user-friendly site by any means.
Right. It is. Yeah. It's a very uh, it's very nuanced in how you operate this system. But this is once you learn it, then you know how to get around it. But it is difficult. Most people, if they're not tech savvy, you probably won't be able to figure it out. Let's put it that way.
Right.
All right. Okay. I'll continue here. So Brennan has changed his mind about the cost of free speech since then. It's not doing the world any good, Brennan told the Times on Sunday. 8chan is completely negative to everyone except the users that are there. And what? That's negative to them too. They just don't realize it. Okay, well. So Two Cows, which controls 8chan's domain registration, doesn't expect it'll disable the site's web address. We don't. We have to immediately. We have no plans immediate. We have no immediate plans other than to keep discussing internally. Garam Brunton, manager of public policy at Two Cows, told the Times. Ron Rockums, who co-manages 8chan with his father, tweeted Monday that if BitMigrate isn't able to come back online, 8chan may go to ClearNet, which likely means it'll be accessible on the internet without any extra security or anonymity protections. 8chan, its owners, BitMigrate or Taros, immediately responded to the request for comment. Okay, neither of them responded. Okay, well that's the story, and I'm pretty surprised that it actually came out, because I thought that there were some precautions already made, but I guess the other precaution was already they were reselling someone else's service for their backup, right? And so their backup was no backup, in other words.
All right. So we talking about this now? I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah, we're good. We're open to go ahead. We've got. I'm done with the article, and cameras on us.
So they're trying to take down 8chan, and they think that that's somehow going to be a striking blow to the Q movement, or
something like that.
Or better yet, they're acknowledging that Q is a beast that took them down. So good job, guys. Deep State, you can suck it. You're not. It's amazing. A random program, you don't even know where it's coming from, who it is, and it whooped you so bad that you have to create false flags generated around this and then take down Q based on absolutely no facts. Utterly ridiculous. Both shooters were both Democrats. They were both leftists, right? They were socialists. I mean, I had the clip right here of the kid was like, I want socialism, and I'm not going to wait for the dumb mother effers to understand, is basically what he said. It's like, wow. Yeah, so obviously, if we apply democratic logic and how we fix that, clearly, it's Trump's fault, right?
Of course.
Because when Trump was masterminding global warming and trying to take the world over by shooting people in malls, he figured out how to manipulate young kids who were actually socialists and Democrats, and he drove them to kill people. That'll be the next line.
Right. Well, it's pretty interesting that they have a foot and mouth disease. Remember I guess the lady in government that was in the shopping lane in the grocery store, and she got in a confrontation by a guy, and she said he was a white supremacist, and it turns out he's Puerto Rican. Right? And she started saying all these things.
That's the worst kind of white supremacists, the ones that are Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Oh my God, I think the other race.
Yeah. So that didn't work out. Smollett didn't work out. All these things get thrown back, at them because people start digging immediately. So, and that's what 8chan brought to us through QAnon, right? Is that it trained people to go and dig, right, and do broadcasts and get the information out. And as General Flynn said, we've got an army of digital soldiers. And so notice I'm wearing camouflage.
You know what? You should have told me, man. I would have definitely. I got all types of camo.
I tried to tell you. I called you several times. No, go ahead and look. Go ahead and look. I was going to tell you I'm going to wear camouflage because we're on the front lines here.
Smart.
So.
I dig it. Yeah. So, this is maybe the most pathetic, version of this I've seen. I mean, they really didn't research well, like who they were sending out there, right? It's like, yes, they're white, but
this is what we can extract from that is that they're at the bottom of the barrel of the people that they have ready to go to trigger.
Okay, I mean, yes, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, this is a pretty standard protocol, right? To manipulate some young person, right? Get them all hopped up on whatever and start charging them with frequencies that completely blast their mind. You can actually, this goes back to the Manna program that they described in Bohemian Grove, where their minds are fractured and they go off. They can't hear logic. I watched this with Laura Loomer. I saw a clip today, and Laura Loomer, she was apparently, bringing hell to, our fearless criminal leader from the organized syndicate and also the governor, and Cuomo here in New York. And she went after him and said, and she was challenging his ethics. They're like, you're talking about being ethical. Is it ethical to go after a president and do an investigation with a president after you know that it's based on a false premise and you never acknowledged it? You never even said outright, wait a minute, we should back off this president because we're wrong. Because your initial investigation and attacks were not based in fact in any way, right? Over and over again, the lawful system is actually playing out and working in the favor of the truth, right?
Right.
So, but they didn't even let her get a statement out there in New York. They started attacking her. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, let her speak. This isn't like speculation. This isn't like, what are you saying, slander? No, this happened. Like, there's been 7 investigations now. They've all proven the president didn't even have a misdemeanor offense. He wouldn't have been prosecuted in a regular court of law if he wasn't the president.
Right, and the things that prove that he wasn't, guilty are kept from the court, which is against the law. So they did everything they could, which is against the law. But that just keeps showing how corrupt the system has become at that level. They're just exposing themselves, and they really, it's getting really pitiful. That's why, we see, 3 shootings all prior to the 24-hour notice. It was a little more than 24 hours before this started happening. But, Q said it, right? There's a 24-hour notice, and then all these things happen, 36 hours or whatever it was later. And it just is really shows that they have if they're not able to find real white supremacists to do this with, and they have to deal with Democrats that are socialists are coming out and they say socialism is not coming fast enough, so I'm going to kill everybody. Why is that not the story, right? It just proves that they have nothing left, right? I mean, it's sad that they do this anyway, right? And my heart goes out to all the people that have lost their loved ones. All we can do is keep forging forward and making sure that they're not able to do this anymore. We shut down this system that they've created to control the minds of the world. Through the media, through the governing, pulling the levers of the with money and power and influence, and we gotta do it different. We lost Tank's voice again.
I'm here. Sorry.
Oh.
So these horrible systems that are set up are really, it's a tragedy. You're right. It is a tragedy. But now here's what's ridiculous, right? It really goes back to the definitions of the way they use the words, right? So now a white supremacist is actually a democratic socialist that's brainwashed and activated, right? Or another version of a white supremacist is a group of goth misfits, white goth misfits, because I have yet to see a single person in Antifa that's not white. And I've seen hundreds of pictures, not one that isn't white so far. And they're completely delusional, attacking, a 5'7" little Asian reporter who's just trying to, report the story, just trying to record the information, and they beat the heck out of him, right? Fractured his skull.
Yeah.
Because why? Because they stand for anti-fascism, right? Yeah. Like, you are a pack of coward losers. You attack defenseless people in mobs. It's the same way that you have the mob riots break out, in Watts. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is cowardice. It is just a mob mentality. It's like, well, if we all dress up like stormtroopers, maybe we really are stormtroopers, right? Maybe we really are this, group of like Grim Reaper ninja, losers that are out here together, right?
Right.
Like,
well, the one thing is that that's the thing they want. They want to force the uprising, and at a certain point, especially if they have armed people coming after you, you've got to fight back. I mean, that's what it's going to take. It's going to be the time when they're coming out with weapons, going house to house, going after people. We know you've got guns in there, and at that time, that's when there's going to be this this pushback. People have guns; they're not going to be afraid to use them against people that are coming after them. So, it's going to be horrible that it gets to that point. I hope that they can be completely dismantled. After all, what do they have left now? Now they're going to have the black white supremacists that they've did the mind control on that make the next move. And then they still say he's a white supremacist. Yes, but he's black.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're just going to continually blame Trump because, as you know, it's so funny to me. It's like I have never seen a group. You also notice like it's very strategic, right? When Nancy Pelosi was going to be out of the country in Afghanistan, they busted. This is an FBI report. We have it, and it's very clear he was going to bomb the White House, but but then realized it would have gone to the Capitol building. That's where they would have been gathered, and he wanted to do as much damage as possible. He had gathered together the explosives. He was being supported by a group inside the country. Who was that group? Well, I would say he was working with an FBI agent, and that was in the report. Now, the FBI agent did out him, right? Now, this guy was supposed to go in, blow up the Capitol building, when Nancy Pelosi and 96 members of her family were out of the country, along with another group of members of the, Democrats. Now, that's one. Now, all of a sudden, all the Democrats go because the world said, we need Cortez to chime in. The world, authorities on global warming, they said, we need Leonardo DiCaprio, Alexandria Cortez, J-Lo. We need them all here in Italy, the force of intelligence, so we can come up with a better plan to fight global warming. No, they didn't. Nobody cares what the hell they have to say about global warming. First of all, why would you call actors together to talk about a real issue? Unless it's not real. And you need actors to act like it's real. That's why they're there. But then coincidentally, they leave town, and what happens? You have another major event right here in the U.S. That seems to be a pattern that follows every time. It's like plausible deniability. So that's the kind of thing going on. And he continues.
Yeah. Well, let's switch our topics here because we know it's just going to continue. what's happening in the world of Kingdom of Manna or Manna World Holding Trust or
Well, I'm not. I was told not to talk about it yet, but um,
I put you on the spot. Sorry about that.
no. I was just trying to think of a way to, not put too much out there. Let's just say that a lot of these things are not going to be a problem much longer. And I mean, like kicking ass and taking names kind of stuff. Like humanity is being given control of their life and the planet, and that is
And
like
and
like
I could lend some comments that there's definitely things going on in Fiji. It's coming to me by way of England, the Commonwealth, and the Minister of Finance is questionable whether he's actually still in place or if he's been replaced. Um, and the government is being quiet.
mm, very interesting. I was also contacted, like I told you, by a group representing the Ministry of Finance, and told me they would get him on the phone with whoever I wanted to talk to, anybody. Now, I have spent somewhere near 2,000 hours calling banks, getting my teeth kicked in by secretaries and various gatekeepers, as I'm trying to tell them, like, "But we're trying to help people. Like, we have humanitarian projects," and they're like, "Screw you. You don't know what you're talking about. Whatever." I talked to Frank. He doesn't even know who you are. This kind of stuff for a year. Not stop talking to like people running all over the city, all over the country, all over the world. We have people like working to do this, right? And now they're the Dragon families and the Ministry of Finance found a way to make sure to reach out to me. Right? So, which is funny. So Kim put out an olive branch to them, and amazingly, in a perfect, harmonious synchronization, my contact, he talks to the younger members of the order. Like they're very like they don't want to be part of the whole satanic ritual. They just want to do business, stuff like that. And so this one younger guy, I guess, who's like the hope to unite the dragon families in China. He's been like making all types of peaceful arrangements between them all, right? And he's very good friends with them. And he has lunch with them tomorrow. And when he goes to see him, he's basically going to tell him like, well, listen, here are the terms that were offered to bring in money for humanitarian projects, and from the Manna World Holding Trust. And basically, you have 24 hours to accept or reject them. And if you do not accept the terms in this 24 hours, they will never be offered again.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that makes me very happy. Because I'm like, I've waited a long time to be able to make an offer like that. So
Yeah.
I wish I could be there for that meeting. But I mean, apparently this is a really good guy. So look, I'm about making peace with everybody. And this is Kim's last. I mean, this is her peace offering, and then there won't be a need for it much longer. So that is.
So put up or shut up.
Put up or shut up is right. Like, how many conniving schemes can you make? And actually, the way it's set up, right, is it's split into thirds, right? The government, the people, and like they get a cut, and it's all for humanitarian projects. If they use it for anything nefarious, they're cut off for life. If they try to take money from the people or the government, they're cut off for life. There's no uncertain terms. It's like, okay, so here's the deal. You're going to be able to do this, but you're going to have to act the exact opposite of everything you've always done. So the entire banking structure, the way it has always been, literally, you could throw it in the garbage because anybody who worked for a bank and you really think you know the financial system, out, gone. That whole structure, gone. It'll never work that way again. It'll never be what it was. It'll never be the way to accumulate riches and terrorize the world. It's not even possible anymore.
Well, that's amazing.
I mean, it's amazing. Like,
amazing.
I want to go to because I can't, but I'm so excited about it. It is You know, like seriously, it's kicking ass and taking names, standing on top of the hill of after being beat down for centuries. So amazing.
And so, but we can't talk about Kingdom of Manna and their role in bringing the GCR about.
Oh, yes. The Kingdom of Manna is trying to invoke the GCR. But wait, this is great. This is great because I got to steal the deal here from the Kingdom of Manna, right? So the Kingdom of Manna, they went into China, right? And they set up their deal, right? And they're like, hey, look, we want to bring in humanitarian projects. I'm sure they sent a great pitch guy in there, right? And we have all this money. We're the real authority, blah, blah, blah. So China, the Republic of China, they made all these arrangements, right? Set up the system. They got an RTGS system. They did all the work to have everything ready for the Kingdom of Manna. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, the Kingdom of Manna, thank you for doing that. Because they called me. And I want you to know that when they called me, I made sure to tell them exactly who you are. And that's nobody. So what happened was they still want to do humanitarian projects. And luckily, the actual queen, who's still in force, I shouldn't say queen, she wouldn't say that, but the actual sole sovereign monarch of the planet, who is actually in control of the real assets of the planet, she put out an olive branch for them today. So I'm glad that those people still have a chance to do the right thing. And, I'm glad that they didn't pay the Kingdom of Manna $100,000 up front to do their job. Because that's what they were told to do. Now, the Manna World Holding Trust would never do that. It's in the bylaws. You cannot ask for any money up front. That's how it works. So, I feel like that's it's like a double win.
The thing is, when you said that, I just flashed me when I was in China, right, and I'm meeting with these different people, right, and I can imagine them saying, yeah, but you got to pay me up front, give me $100K, and I don't think they would have believed it, not for a moment. The Chinese are not stupid.
The Chinese are not stupid. You heard it here first, folks. We have breaking news. No, they're not stupid.
Well, look what they've been doing for the last 30 years. Oh, of course. Intractable. They'll put up a China wall.
Brilliant, yeah.
But at the same time, Trump just increased the tariffs by 10%.
Putting up his own version of the China wall, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because walls work both ways. They keep things in and keep things out. So.
Yeah, by China not honoring the agreement that they already placed, what that was really saying is it's the master-slave concept. Slaves saying that they want something, we just ignore it. Yeah, okay, but you go do this now, and still don't live up to your side. So Trump said, you're not living up to the side? Okay, we increase the tariffs. So this will get old after a while, and they'll probably want to get to there. But what did Trump say? If you wait till after the election, so it'll be much tougher terms. And I would believe him. I wouldn't second guess Trump on whether or not he's going to go at it, because he wrote the book on negotiation.
Yeah, right. It's funny. My brother uses the exact same technique. My brother's a really a monster real estate agent, right, down in Myrtle Beach, and he plays the fool. He's a master at it, right? So people always think they're getting over on him, but he's brilliant. He's just such a smart guy, and he's been taking advantage of him since he was like a kid, So I feel like Trump does that too. He's like, oh, what's happening? Acts like he doesn't know what's going on. Next thing you know, here's what happened.
Yeah. Well, he's all talking one way in presenting a particular image, right? But he's very firm in his progression, right? And he carries it to the next level, and until the other side buckles. Especially it really is what Trump said. The America has all of the cards, doesn't need China, right? Doesn't need China.
That's the truth. Yeah.
But China has put this out there and bought all these companies and paid off all these politicians to basically say that they are indispensable for the future of the world.
Yep.
I know that the Chinese I was dealing with, they all had this concept that China would rule the world. I mean, it was just like a given, right? It's even their prophecy, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, and this is all part of the plan that they settled on in the '70s, and it's what they did forever. They would transfer leadership from one dragon family to the other, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
They just over and over and over again. That's what they do.
100 years
So
back and forth.
yeah, right. So now this particular time, they went to do that again, and this is like a 40-year plan. Should have played out in like 2018, right? Should have been fully in play. Which, Kissinger has said it's about time for the Chinese to be in control. Kissinger, you can go bury yourself in a hole and die for all I care. Because that is not how it goes. That is not how it goes. So, I'm thrilled, that it's like, again, it's funny how these things will come across, right? This is one of the ways they try to make Trump seem like a racist. Like, I love lots of Chinese people, but I hate the Chinese elders, to be clear. Like, and that's the ones that I know who have held us all hostage and tried to kill us, That doesn't mean, that there's not somewhere like older Chinese people that I wouldn't love. I know lots of older Chinese people that are adorable. But, at the end of the day, all these things set up to divide us are just set to weaken us and try to put us into pieces.
Yeah. Well, I have Chinese friends. We had a lot of good times socializing. They know my heart. I know theirs. I know they want the best for their people. They love their children. They want the best for their children. There's a starting place. They want clean air, clean water, clean food.
There you go. That's right. So simple.
And to protect their children.
Right. Can you imagine? We thought we were so different, but we both want to protect our kids? Whoa.
I know.
Revelation.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, there's so much more in common than we do, than differences. The things that they try to feed us against each other on, they're just nonsense. They don't matter.
Well, doing business, around the world, right? So whether I was doing deals in America, doing deals in Europe, doing deals in Asia, or in China, there's a lot of similarity all the way across. I think, everyone wants to drink and get drunk, and then at the end, when everyone's, kind of loopy, that's when they want to discuss business.
Yep.
As I said,
that's a smart method. That's why you need to know how to hold your liquor.
That's it.
Or drink clear liquor. This is what I do at business meetings all the time. Drink clear liquor. So I only drink Bombay Sapphire martinis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gin martinis, straight up, very dry. And then I'll drink with everybody, and then I'll just drink straight water. And it'll look like I'm drinking martini still, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one drink, and I'll just hang out with them the whole night.
Well, I've got a very high tolerance. I'm not a drinker. It's not.
We all know that's a lie, Dan. Stop.
No,
we
no,
know
it's
you
true.
drink. You're drinking right now. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. What are you talking about?
I'm not an alcohol drinker. But I do. I have certain favorites. I like certain. Like my favorite is Drambuie as a flavor, as a sipping liqueur, or something like that. Some.
Drambuie like licorice kind of.
It's honeyish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's actually made from grapes. And that's why I said honeyish. And it's amber color. It's thick. It's a thick liqueur. I like dark rums. And I like vodka martinis, shaken not stirred, with making them dirty with. So I got my favorites, but even like in the Philippines, I'll drink Lampanog. And Lampanog is a coconut wine.
I'm listening.
All right, it's okay. It's a smooth move there you got to turn off your mic, right?
Oh, I want to make sure it turned off. I was like, oh no, did they hear me?
No, I didn't hear you. There is an element of a silence that comes on when that happens, though.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay.
Good.
But anyway, so we can pull together around the world and we can do deals, whether it involves drinking or not.
Well, I think it's going to be a little bit sketchy for people to drink, a little bit because once people realize that we've been poisoned in so many ways, like I thought about this. I'm like, well, as these things kind of move forward and we're in a different place, right, in time, um, what's the next phase, right? Because we do have to do business and we do have to be a little bit precautious because, there is forces out there that would not wish us well, especially because I've been trash talking them the whole way as we were coming for them, right? So it's like, and now they're finally in a position where they're, diminished. It's like, it looks like that's real. I mean, that's real, like, set in stone, inevitable, within, a couple weeks, few weeks here, like, right on the verge of collapse, so to speak.
Well, take
And
that.
you see it with the banks. I mean, the banks stock market dropped, 950 points today. It's a lot of stuff.
Bitcoin rose $2,000.
Right. This is what it feels like to be Trump.
Just stop it already. Well, we do see that there's going to be, even though if there's wins over here, the people over here don't know. They're like the Japanese soldier on the island for 50 years that doesn't know the war's over. All right. So we'll be dealing with them shutting down like 8chan or making the false flag events over here. That's going to continue because they're compartmentalized, right? They don't know that the war is over. They're on an island.
I do think that there is a legitimate issue and a concern that I hope, I'm not sure how they're going to address it, but I do think it needs to be addressed, is these latent cells of super soldiers and various MK Ultra that is, they're out there, right? And they essentially, they're, one frequency away from being activated and kind of turning on people, right? So and it could be an alter ego that, they don't even know exists.
Okay, I've got a plan. First, you get the black book, the code book, right, to activate them so you know what codes to. You send them all at the same time to an island, right?
Okay.
And that's, you have waiting there, help, medical help. They arrive on the plane. Oh, off you go. Here you go. You need to have some deprogramming done.
Okay. I mean, the thing is that part of the activation sequence, if you're talking to these people, that when they feel that their life is actually being threatened, that's one of the triggers, right?
It wasn't threatening them. It was all about help, right? It's like, here's, medical help. And
right, but when they perceive it to be a threat. Now, what I brought up to them in the programming, because I'm somewhat familiar with it, is I said, well, wouldn't it be logical in your path to that place that you get to a certain place and realize they're trying to help me, and because they're trying to help you, you're programmed to think you cannot trust them. So now you react to them like they're trying to hurt you. And that is, from what I understand, that is accurate. That's what would happen. Or that way they would never, and in many cases, they might just very well take their own life. So that's what I've been told. And I did speak to some pretty serious guys in the CIA about that a while back. So
yeah. Well,
so I don't know. But my point is, I don't know that there's a way to deprogram it
right.
without just frequency.
Well, at least they're on the island,
right?
With the rest of the cabal.
Yep.
Loaded weapons circling the cabal. That's all on the island that they programmed.
So.
Oh, well,
yeah, man. So I'm dying to talk about this next stage, and I can't. And
what's it all about?
What's that? Trying to get me fired? Trying to get me fired? Yeah.
No. Just playing around.
Say we have great news that is really here, and I'm just really happy about that.
I know Tui's not talking.
Yeah, no, man, it's on. Everybody's I think there's a collective agreement. Like, look, it's time, man. It's go time. Kim was like swagadelic today. She was, you could tell she was in good spirits.
Oh,
Yeah.
anything on the Ecuadorian tribes that I basically have the connect to the head of the tribes in Ecuador?
Not yet. Doesn't mean that things won't happen very fast. I would expect you're about to see kind of a rush of crazy happening all over the place. So, but no, that wasn't a priority, today when I got it to her. So, but but there's gonna be things changing so fast right now that you really, anybody out there, you really want to follow the Speak Project very closely. You want to follow every night when Dan and I do a broadcast. You want to follow. Now is the time. You want to tell your friends if you ever wanted redemption to feel like you've been on the right horse. Now is the time. If you have a bunch of friends who are been hedging their bets the whole time, don't even tell them. Don't even tell them. They can stay there. They can continue to hedge their bet. But I hate that. That's worse than somebody. At least people who oppose us, they oppose the idea. It's fine. But now is the time to follow very, very closely. Things are going to be coming out very fast, and not like too fast. Like this is going to be that kind of crazy stuff that never affects you. Things that are coming out now are going to affect you directly. I mean, directly. So
Yeah, well,
that's all I have to say about that. I want to leave in a shroud of mystery.
okay.
I wish I had a puff of smoke I could throw up here. It'd be great, but I don't.
Yeah. There are some of those other effects generators that you can actually throw up on screens.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta try.
I haven't used it. It's I found it like a couple of years ago. I said, oh yeah, if I only had green screen, and now I have the green screen.
I forgot I was cooking one day while I was doing this, and I had a lot of smoke in the background, so that was kind of a interesting effect.
Yeah, okay. There's some real
Yeah.
smoke effects as long as there's not any fire alarms going off. Well,
There it is.
yeah, that's it.
All right, man. I gotta go.
Sounds
We're just
good.
over our time limit, and I got another appointment. So you have a great night, everybody. What do we call it? We're frontline. I think frontlines is good, man. I don't think you need to add my name to it. Just frontlines.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we could say Speak Project Frontlines. It was coming to me while we were talking here.
Yeah, I like that. Or
Yeah.
just speak frontline. Frontline, speak frontline. Yeah, we'll work on it.
It worked. All right, bye everyone.
See you later.
Give likes, spread out the links, get everyone jazzed up. Things are happening. Let's go.